Hello everybody, Kyoto Winston here, and today I will be doing What If Deku Was Accelerator Part 2. So, last time where we left off, Deku was just ordered by All For One to go do a mission. Him doing so and finding the target. Him killing the target in the target's house. Or apartment. But Deku would have found out that the target he just killed was a clone. Him noticing another target, which is the same person, running down the street. Deku following this new target, as the target would have led Deku into an alleyway, him setting up a trap for Deku, which Deku would have fallen for. Him being surrounded by multiple clones of the target, with those clones putting Deku at gunpoint. Just then, the target that led Deku into the alleyway would have started to basically dialogue and saying that how he beat Deku. However, Deku would have just responded with a... well, how should I explain it? You know what? I'm just gonna do it. Basically, this. Yeah, basically that. Everyone there being confused as we will continue the story. The target yelling at Deku saying, What are you laughing at? You're about to die and you're laughing? No. It's just that you say the most hilarious things. Me? Defeated by the likes of you? Don't make me laugh. You little brat. Kill him! With all of the clones that are surrounding Deku simultaneously firing a bullet straight at Deku. But just then, a villainous grin would have appeared on Deku's face, as instead of Deku being shot, it would have been every single one of those other clones, with those clones falling onto the ground and starting to disappear. The target being even more confused, Deku saying, Well then, mister, do you got any more tricks up your sleeve? What did you do? Oh, what did I do? Nothing much. I just changed the direction of the bullet, that's all. But for you, that's another story. Deku walking towards the target and putting his hand on the target's shoulder. The target, who witnessed Deku explode another one of his clones, he would have, of course, fallen onto the ground and, well, crawled back. Him yelling, No, get back! Now, don't be so scared. I'm not gonna kill you. At least not yet. Deku again putting his hand on the target's shoulder and saying, Help me out, alright? I wanna test a theory of mine. What theory? The theory that you're a clone. Just then, Deku would have changed the target's blood flow and forced it to go down to one finger, it exploding. Basically, Deku just exploded one of the target's fingers. The finger flying across the air and landing onto the ground, it would have started to basically smoke, as it would start to disappear. Deku saying, Well, guess I was right then. Please, have mercy. Mercy. Well, since you did give me a bit of fun, I guess I do feel a bit merciful. Here, how about a deal? What kind of deal? Easy. You tell me the current location of the original, and I'll let you live. But if you find him, then you're just gonna kill him. That's the plan. So are you accepting it or not? I can't. Oh well, too bad. As that target clone would have exploded, with lots of blood spewing everywhere and it disappearing, or well, evaporating, Deku would have had another villainous grin on his face, him saying, "Well, I guess this cat and mouse chase is just beginning." At least I won't be bored anymore. As we'll fast forward to, let's say, 3 months. And in those 3 months, Deku would have been continuing to track down the target. Him finding the target multiple times, but after killing them, would only find out that they are just clones. As for how many of those clones Deku has killed, let's just say it is in the thousands. Actually, no, 10,000s. Yeah, that's how many clones Deku has killed in the past 3 months. He's been keeping count. As after skipping forward 3 months, Deku would have been killing another one of the target's clones. But before Deku actually kills this clone, he would have gave the clone the same deal, it being if the clone tells Deku the position of the original, with original meaning the real target, he will spare this clone, which this clone actually ticks. Him telling the location of the original to Deku, which Deku, after listening to that location, he would have let go of this clone and start to turn around and leave the place. But after taking a few steps, Deku would have turned back around and say, "Oh yeah, I should tell you this. If I can't find the original at that exact location, then, well, I am going to find you, and I am going to kill you in the most brutal way possible. Not only that, but you will also feel every single part of it. So unless you want that happening to you, I suggest you give me the exact location of the original." The clone, being terrified, he would have told Deku another location, him saying that this location is the real one. Deku just saying, "So you did try to trick me. Bad move. But at least you did took my advice and give me the real location. However, naughty kids must be punished. As for how, well, I don't know. Ah, I know." As Deku would have put his hand on this clone's shoulder, him just basically blowing off the clone's right arm. Him continuing saying, "And that is what you get for trying to trick me." Now, after that confrontation, Deku would have went to the first location, him just finding some clones there, which he kills fairly easily. As for the second location, which that clone Deku left alive said that is the real location, well, we'll get to it now. Deku arriving at that location, he would have just found let's say, a nightclub, which, by the way, is closed. Deku pulling up the shutter and opening the door, he would have gone into that nightclub. And whenever he did, he would have just saw a lot of clones. Deku seeing all of the clones, he would have just had a small grin on his face, him saying, "Well, if it isn't my birthday, tell me where your boss is, or all of you are going to die in about 2 minutes." However, just as Deku finished that sentence, all of the clones would have put down everything that are in their hands, as they would have, well, charged at Deku. Deku, reaching into his pocket and taking out a pocket knife, he would have said, "Ah, clones, you just don't know how to appreciate life." Deku immediately throwing the pocket knife into the closest clone to him, which, by the way, landed inside the clone's head. He would have continued and run towards that clone, him pulling that pocket knife out as he would have turned around. Deku, while spinning around, he would have used his, let's say his right arm, or well, right hand. He would have basically touched the second closest clone to him, as that clone would have been blown into a billion pieces. Every single clone there seeing Deku, well, basically slaughter one of themselves, they would have been, of course, terrified. As for the rest of the clones that are there, well, I think you can already know how this is going to end. If you don't, Deku slaughtered all of them, while having a sadistic smile on his face. Deku, after killing every single clone there, he would have started to look around, him finding no one, as he would have said, "Really now, did that clone seriously lie to me twice? Well, I guess I have to pay him a visit again." Huh? As that was when Deku would have heard a sound, him being a bit surprised since he thought he already killed everyone here. Him thinking, "Oh, so there is a survivor. I wonder where he could be." Well, only one way to find out. I was meaning to test this anyway. Just then, Deku would have snapped his fingers. Him thinking, well, I guess it did work. As Deku would have started to walk towards the washroom, and whenever he entered, he would have just said, "Well, looks like your hide-and-seek game is over, mister. I found you. Now come out. Or would you like me to force you to come out? Your choice. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just as Deku said 1, he would have walked in front of one of those toilet compartments, him grabbing onto the door and basically throwing it off of its hinges, him saying, "Found you," as Deku would have saw the target inside that compartment, closing his eyes and his mouth, just basically trying to hide, him saying, "What a coward you are." Deku grabbing onto the target's shirt as he would have thrown him out of the washroom, him slowly walking forwards and saying, "Alright then, last one, here is a question. Where is the exact location of the original?" What? Don't act dumb now. Tell me where your creator is. Or should I say, the real you? I am real. So are you saying that you're the original? Yes. We'll see about that. Deku taking out his pocket knife as he would have basically cut this target. And after waiting for like 30 seconds, Deku would have realized that the blood is not evaporating. Him saying, "Oh, so you are the original. Congratulations. You're gonna die now." Wait, please, stop. If you let me live, I'll give you everything. Money, but power, and even my clones. Please, just don't kill me. Begging for your life, I see. Well, too bad. I'm just a kid. I only do what I'm ordered to do, which is to kill you. Deku putting his hand on this target's shoulder and saying, "Now, die." As the rest is self-explanatory. Now, after that, Deku would have returned to All For One's lab, as he would have reported to All For One saying that he already killed the target. All For One saying, "If I remember correctly, I ordered you to capture him." "Yes, you did, but last time when I did what you exactly told me to do, you said I failed my mission. So this time, I did what you hinted me to do, which is to kill. So I did." Good. Well done. Thank you for your hard work. Go get some rest." "Yes, master." And as Deku was about to leave, he would have noticed All For One's finger twitching. Deku, knowing that that is a sign, he would have kept his guard up, as Deku would have went into his room. Now, after about an hour, Deku inside his room, he would have heard All For One calling for him. Him getting up and walking towards web of his room and towards All For One. Deku arriving in front of All For One, he would have asked All For One if he would like to speak to him. To which All For One would just say, "Yes, Izuku, I would like to speak to you." As All For One would have turned around while still being in his chair, him continuing to say, "Izuku Midoriya, I must apologize to you. I've underestimated you. Ever since I first seen you, I thought you were very weak. However, after seeing you grow, I see that I was wrong. You have become a very strong villain. I must commend you for that." Thank you, master. But why you bring this up?" "Because lately you have been failing missions one after another, and proved to me that I was right. You are weak. And now that I found that out, I have no more use for you." Deku, still being quote-unquote confused, he would have said, What do you mean no more use?" As that was when All For One would have stood up and start to walk towards Deku, him saying, "It means I will personally dismiss you." Him grabbing Deku by his neck and lifting Deku up in the air, as All For One would have continued saying, "But your quirk, direction changing, has proved to be very useful, which is why I will be taking it," with All For One moving his other hand towards Deku's forehead. But before All For One's hand can touch Deku's forehead, a smile would have appeared on Deku's face, as that was when Deku would have punched All For One in his chest, which would have sent All For One flying back. Deku landing on the ground and saying, "So that's your quirk. The quirk to take quirks from others. I was always wondering what your quirk is. So you're acting all along." "Well, I was, but so what? You're doing it also." "I knew taking your quirk won't be as easy as that." "Of course! Did you really think that I'll just hand over my quirk?" "No, of course I didn't. That's why I have backup plans." Just then, All For One would have lifted up his left hand and fired an air cannon, or have just used his quirk air cannon to fire a blast of, air. It going straight towards Deku, which Deku would have just reflected, as it would have just went straight back towards All for One. All for One just stepping aside and dodging the attack. But instead of stopping this air cannon firing and use another tactic, All for One would have continued to fire his air cannon. Deku, seeing that, he would have said, Seriously? I thought you're supposed to be my master. You should know that I can reflect anything from any direction. Really? Any direction? Yeah, any direct. As Deku would have looked down to see a mind right, well, beneath him, it immediately exploding. However, Deku would have just continued walking forward and saying, Yeah, like I said, every direction. Don't get over yourself, brat. As All for One would have fired another air cannon. Deku, using his left hand, he would have just slapped the air cannon away from him. Him saying, That is enough of your so-called attacks, Mr. All for One. Now it's my turn. As Deku would have lifted up his left leg and stomped it onto the ground. Just as he did that, the ground around Deku and also around All for One would have started to shake. This shocking All for One, since he doesn't know that Deku can do that. And while it was shaking, All for One would have taken his eyes off of Deku. And whenever he tried to find Deku again, he would have saw nothing there. Him being confused, as Deku would have reappeared from behind All for One. Him slowly putting his palm on All for One's back, as whenever he touched All for One would have been sent flying to the other side of the room. All for One crashing into the wall, Deku would have started to laugh. Now look who's the master now, All for One. Don't get cocky, brat. You have not won yet. Oh no, you're wrong, All for One. I already did. As Deku would have stomped his left feet onto the ground again, but this time, instead of the ground shaking like the last time, the air on top of the ground in front of Deku would have exploded, it going closer and closer to All for One, as it would have just blown All for One up into the air. If you don't know what I mean, just look at the screen right now. If I didn't do it wrong, you should be able to see what I'm trying to say, or well, describe. Now, just as All for One was sent flying into the air, Deku would have stomped onto the ground again, which would have lifted up a rock next to Deku. Him touching the rock, as the rock would have been sent flying straight towards All for One, which would have hit All for One in the face. This causing All for One to fall back onto the ground, with Deku appearing in front of All for One. Him putting his hand on All for One and saying, Now, I have a question for you, All for One. Please enlighten me. Why did you try to dismiss me? All for One spitting out a bit of blood and saying, As if I would tell you. Well, doesn't matter. I already guessed. It's because I'm getting too strong for you, aren't I? So strong that you can't even control me anymore. Is that right? All for One not replying, Deku would have continued to say, No replies, eh? Too bad. Doesn't matter anymore. You die. You'll kill me? Don't you forget who raised you, who made you this strong? I did. Without me, you will never get stronger. Stronger? What kind of stronger? Deku gripping onto All for One's shoulder a bit harder. All for One saying, So strong that people won't even think about trying to go against you or fight you. Oh, so you're saying you'll give me absolute power? All of one stayed in silence. Deku just saying, no reply again? Well, doesn't matter. Those who get in my way will be killed. However, I am interested in your absolute power. So I'll let you live for now. But of course not without any serious injuries. As that was when Deku would have manipulated the blood inside All for One. Him blowing off All for One's right arm and his left leg. All for One shouting out in pain, or just grunting. Deku would have just used his other hand, as he would have just slapped All for One in the face, which would have sent All for One flying into the wall next to them. After that, Deku would start to walk away, but just before he reaches the door, a portal would have opened right in front of him, with Kurogiri and Shigaraki walking through. Deku being a bit confused since he didn't saw All for One call them back up, as when Shigaraki saw All for One on the wall without an arm and a leg, he would immediately rush towards Deku, thinking that it was Deku who did it, which it is. But Deku would simply grab onto Shigaraki's hand and turn aside, or turn around, him extending out his leg as he would have tripped Shigaraki onto the ground. Just so you know, seeing that you did tuck me in, I won't kill you. At least, not until you've gotten in my way. And when you do, I will kill every single one that is involved in it. Deku saying that as he would have walked past Kurogiri and leave the building. And that will be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. They'll be amazing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!